was just singing. I was just performing. And then I kind of, I was doing contracts when I was singing. I did like a contract in China, in the Middle East, in Bangkok, Hong Kong, Macau.
Wow. These are all like you growing up. You were just singing in all these places.
Yeah, I mean those jobs were kind of a little later when I was like over 21. At that point, yeah, I kind of left home, and as I said, I went to I think it was Thailand first. I came home for a bit, and then I went to Oman in the Middle East, over to Dubai, and then to China, Macau, and then ended up in Stockholm, Sweden.
Wow.
Where I signed on to do a show and ended up staying for 5 years as a singer, dancer, performer.
Wow.
And then at the end of that was I guess I was like 31 or something like that, and things started to change. I didn't necessarily want to be performing all the time. I was tired, and I was getting a little older, and I'd always been writing. I'd always been songwriting, and with that came producing my own stuff, and I was never amazing at it. But I thought maybe there's a chance that I could take it more seriously and get better at it. You know?
Yeah. So for 5 years in Stockholm, you were basically a performer.
That's all I was.
That was your thing. Wow. But what was that like? Like talk about what a day-to-day would even look like as a performer, because I don't think a lot of people know.
So the show that I was in, it was a dinner theater show, right? But the way it was built in Stockholm was it was like a musical. So I mean, if you think about being in a musical these days, like whatever it is, Book of Mormon or anything like that, that's all you do. Right. You wake up and you don't go to work until about 2 or 3. My job was to because it was a dinner theater, so I also served as a waiter. We'd come in at 3 o'clock, we'd set the tables, we'd do all that kind of stuff, and we warm up and we'd do our makeup, and then 6 o'clock, something like that, guests would start to arrive and the show would start, and we'd finish it at about 10 or 11 depending on what night, and then we'd hit the club. And that was 5, sometimes in the busy season, 6 nights a week.
That's insane.
Yeah, man, it was. It was tiring, but I loved it. It was like the best job I've ever had.
I can imagine. And I can't imagine what kind of vocal, physical shape you'd have to be in every night.
Yeah. Yeah, that's definitely a thing, but as long as you're using, the correct technique, you get stronger. You get stronger and stronger to the point where even when you're sick, you can still bust out some pretty amazing things. Wow. You get to that strength. Yeah, it was the best. Yeah, the best job I've ever had. I had to learn Swedish, so I became by the end I became fluent in Swedish. And I just really immersed myself in that whole culture.
That's
Loved
amazing,
it.
Dude. Yeah. So
have you
5
ever been
years
to Sweden?
I haven't been.
No.
What's the closest to Sweden? Well, this is embarrassing. I don't even know where Sweden is on a fucking globe. So maybe I shouldn't. Maybe I should pass. I have not been to Sweden. No.
Right. Okay.
But I would love to. I'd love to go sometime. But that's crazy.
Yeah,
So
it's
5 years,
amazing.
like I can't believe it's really awesome when your career takes you to these cool places that you've never been.
Yeah.
I think that's a really fortunate thing that we get to do. So 5 years in, day in and day out performing, and then you're like, man, starting to need a normal life a little bit. Like I kind of want to settle it down a little. Thinking about producing.
I met my wife while I was doing that. We worked. She came in the last 2 years of the show, and she was an aerial acrobat. So I would like sing to her act, and she was from the States. So we met and we were together there for 2 years. And we wanted to settle down. The hard thing about being in a relationship when you're overseas is that neither one of you are home, and the contract's not going to last forever. So we had to choose somewhere to go. Yeah. And we chose Australia. So we both went to Australia for a year.
Interesting.
Didn't love it there. Like I love Australia, but it was the work thing. That's what really sold me on doing something different, because going back to Australia, I just started doing the same shit that I did when I was 18.
Performing.
Like, yeah, but also like the same venues, like, and I'd turn up at a bar and I'd see all my like high school friends, and it was like I'd done nothing.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with that, but I still felt like I wanted to progress. I wanted to keep climbing the ladder, keep getting better at what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And there was more for me to do than doing that. So Australia was a tough time, man. I didn't like it. I love the country. The country's amazing. I would live there every day if it had a job for me.
Yeah.
So we ended up ended up going to the States to live.
New York, like straight to New York.
Yeah.
Wow.
Straight to New York. Yep. Which is where I met you.
Is that where you
Engine Room?
You joined Engine Room like soon after you came to the States?
I actually joined Engine Room before I moved to the States. So I mean, there was a period where I was waiting for my visa to come through. I couldn't work or anything, but I could study. So I came over, started with Recording Connection at Engine Room.
Okay.
And then eventually I had to go back. I took a pause from that. I had to go back to Australia for like 3 weeks to a month while my visa came through, and then I came back and continued. But
dude, those damn visas. So, I just realized you weren't married to your wife at this point. Okay, that would explain the visa situation.
Yeah, we got married when we went to Australia, but we still, we had to. After getting our Danish visa to work there, our Swedish visa, we had to apply for an Australia visa.
Oh, no.
At which point, when we landed in Australia, we started working on our American visa. So
God.
if you have any visa questions, hit me up. I got you, man. I got you.
But you must be done with the visa stuff now, right? Like, you must have a green card now. Oh, God.
Yeah. The green card actually came pretty much straight away. So now I think I'm actually eligible for citizen.
Right.
So, I mean, I'm not 100% sure I'll do that just because I need to find out a little bit more about that. But
yeah, from what I understand, the only big difference is that as a citizen you can vote. But otherwise, green cards are pretty good to have.
I think it matters like also about taxes and stuff. Like I
Really?
think if I am a citizen and I end up going back to Australia, I still have to file taxes in the States because I'm a citizen. So there's all kind of stuff like that. So I mean, I still have to pay taxes in Australia and file for taxes, even though I'm not working there. I do have a house there too, so like I earn a little bit from that, so it's kind of considered an income.
Yeah, that would make sense.
Yeah.
Wow.
But so there's those things to kind of consider.
Fucking hate the visa. Dude, the visa
Yeah,
thing
man.
is like the most stressful part of anything I have to do while I'm here. It's just the most frustrating thing. And I think the thing that's most uncomfortable is that you kind of have to sell yourself as like the big question they want to know is why the fuck do you want to be here? Which is very understandable. Totally reasonable.
Right.
But I feel so uncomfortable having to be like, well, I did all this stuff, and it's like I hate talking about myself, and it's just very, very uncomfortable.
So is it like an O1? Is that what the visa you're called?
Yeah,
Right. Which is based on
the same one.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Which it's based on like success, right? Basically.
Exactly, and that's what
Yeah.
makes it so weird. Like, how successful are you? It's like, Jesus, I never put myself like on a ladder and compared it. Like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Let's look at his bio. Do we want this cunt? Do we really want this? Nah.
Oh man, how rejected one must feel if like
It's
they
like
say no.
It's like a dating app. They basically look at your thing and they swipe.
Dude, literally, yes. That is it. That rejection. America, man, she's that she's the one. But
Wow.
yeah, no, I totally I know what that's like. But you sorted that out, and then I guess you did the Recording Connection program. Was Mark your mentor?
Mark was my mentor, yeah.
Okay, it's kind of coming back to me now.
Yeah. I did what they call the advanced course. So it definitely pushed me, which was exactly what I wanted. I had some basic knowledge and everything already, and it got me, to actually get my hands on equipment and really start to learn. And
so you had actually messed around with Pro Tools or something before Recording Connection?
yeah. Well, actually, not Pro Tools, Logic. I was working in Logic. And I worked in Cubase before that. So I had there was a learning curve to Pro Tools for sure.
Sure.
But I had a basic understanding of what needed to
Just
be
for
done.
like recording your songs, the music that you were writing?
Yeah. When I first bought my house, when I was 19, it was a 3-bedroom house, so I made it was just myself, and so I made like one room, the control room, and then put like a little window into the second bedroom, which is my
awesome.
vocal booth, and set this whole thing up. I had no fucking idea what I was doing, but I set it up. I asked some friends to help me, and so I had some basic knowledge of like recording, and I hung around a lot of people that were a lot better than me at everything, recording, writing, and singing, and all that stuff. So I learned as much as I could from those people.
Wow. And when did you start songwriting again?
I've always been writing, but so I mean the real thing is that I came into like after I finished school, like after I finished Engine Room, Recording Connection at Engine Room, I started to get into like top lining writing, writing melodies and lyrics for people's music, and I work through SoundBetter, which is an amazing platform, soundbetter.com.
Yeah.
And now that's just become a full-time job. Like I don't, I really need to do anything else. Like, I'm always happy to take more and more stuff, but it's kind of taken over, which is amazing. Like
that is amazing. Holy crap.
Yeah. I never thought.
Soundbetter.com.
Yeah. I never thought that I'd be able to make a living off of like session work. Like I thought it'd be something that I'd do on the side.
Right.
But now it's a full-time job. Like I'm singing on people's albums of like stuff that they've written. Sometimes people will come to me to write. Actually, just recently, like a month ago, I had like I got asked to write 6 top lines for a brand new masterclass. The website's called monthly.com.
Nice.
And it was actually Kygo. Do you know Kygo?
I've heard this
producer?
name. Yeah.
Massive Norwegian producer. Anyway, and it's his masterclass, and they asked me to write 6 top lines for the class. So
that's amazing. Holy shit.
Yeah, I'm getting all these like messages through Instagram and emails of like people that have done the class from all over the world that are just like, hey, well, I'm using your song, and can I contact you for writing and all this stuff?
Holy crap.
So that opened
fantastic.
like a massive door there too. But it's a real. I haven't actually taken the Kygo class, but I'm. There's another class by Ryan Tedder, who is like one of the biggest songwriters in the world, and also the lead singer of One Republic.
Oh, right.
Yeah, and so he's got a songwriting course on there too, which I was taking. And it's amazing. It's a really good learning tool.
That's fantastic, dude. Yeah, I mean, I guess like you probably made that SoundBetter account just to see what would happen, and it's so crazy that it would turn into something so sustaining. Like I would never a lot of people have asked me over the years, like people who are vocalists or songwriters. I mentioned the idea of top lining, and they're like, oh my God, I'd love to get into it. How do I do that? And I honestly don't have an answer for them. Like, I don't know how to get into it. But that's so crazy that it just happened.
Yeah, I mean, and I had no idea. I definitely didn't go on the platform for top lining because, at the start, I wouldn't have had the confidence to have people pay me money to write, that was the very beginning of like, I'd written songs, but when people put money in your hand to do something, you have to have the confidence to hand them back a product that you think you're going to be able to deliver and they're going to love.
Yeah.
So, there was, there came a time when that had to change, like when I had to change and have like this bout of confidence. And if there's something that the United States has taught me, it's that. I never would have been able to do the things I'm doing now if I had stayed in Australia. Because I think the United States just challenges you. Like you have to be challenged. You have to get better at what you do. Even if you're already good at what you do, you still have to get better.
Yeah.
There's so many people to compete with.
Yeah.
And to do that, you need confidence and you have to believe in yourself. That and that had to happen for me to get to the next level too.
Was that hard to start believing in yourself? Especially for like songwriting, something so personal.
I think so. Yeah, I think it was definitely hard, and I still you know, even today, I was stuck a little bit on a track, and then that, you know, that bit of doubt kicks in, and it's like, oh shit, have I peaked? Have I already written my best stuff? Am I out of ideas and everything? But you know, eventually it comes back. You got to step away for a little bit, and then you come back, and the confidence comes back.
And I guess the more you do it, right, the better you.
Right.
Yeah. What's it like to? Because whenever money starts to come into the picture of anything that you do, even if it is a passion project, there is that kind of like, you know, you want to express yourself, you want to be creative, but you're also providing a service.
Right.
Do you know what I'm saying? Like, what is that like?
I think, to me, the fact that money's involved makes me do better. It, you know, I always want to help people out too. Like if they can't afford, you know, my rate, I try to help them out. And I always find that when I do that, it's never my best stuff. And I also find that I get seriously stuck on my own stuff, which is obviously like I'm not paying myself to write, but you know, I can never finish, and it's too relaxed now.
Yes.
But so, like, I feel like when money comes into play, I know what you're talking about. But for me, I think it brings out a better side of my writing and performing, or my recording.
Maybe you have a good control over your ego in that way. Maybe like you don't let that get in the picture yet. No, of course I don't.
No, that's out of control, man. That's
because that was the one thing that I struggled with, which was like I would do a mix, and or at least like there was one time a long time ago where I did get paid to, I don't know if it would be considered top lining, but I did write lyrics, and I did, wait for it, rap on
that's a melody. Count it.
On a song. And like it was the first paycheck I ever got for being a singer or rap or whatever it was, vocal performer.
That's dope, man.
It was when I was very young, but then the next time I was called for it, maybe I wasn't that young. Like maybe 15, 16. But like the next time I was called for it, and this is a testament to how young I was. I remember writing lyrics for this guy, and I was writing lyrics, and you know there was rewrite after rewrite, and this is really bad, and I feel bad to this day. But like, you know, I came up and it was still not what he wanted, and I just left. Like I just left. I couldn't. My ego was like, fuck this. Oh my god, I was an idiot back then. But like, no, that's awesome, and I do understand what you're saying about, you know, it's so funny because over COVID, you know, a lot of things went to shit, and one of the things that did go to shit was the fact that bands are already broke. So
yeah,
you know, so there's no way I was gonna make any kind of income from them. So I did agree to do some stuff for free, just to like, you know, keep my skills up. But also, I believe in the bands, and it's like one song, so it didn't hurt. But I did find myself like halfway through just being like, yeah, whatever, like,
yeah,
you know,
you don't hold yourself to as high a standard, you know, if it's, you know, I mean, if there's money on the table.
Yeah,
I feel.
No, dude, absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And online, you know, online things have become such a integral part of society right now, because you know a lot of people that were working in an office have started working at home. They're not going back to the office. Yeah. Like they're staying at home to work from now on, and
right.
You know, I think during COVID, this whole online session work that I'm doing, right, really started to pick up even more. You know, I then started a business as well with Vinny.
Oh, yes, he mentioned this.
Mr. Pagano. Which is, it's online mixing and mastering. It's still in the music field, but we just wanted to have another avenue for people to find us and
what's the name
get
of the
some
company?
work done. It's called Radio Ready Mixing.
RadioReadyMixing.com.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. We've got a bunch of like sample packs and sound presets for Serum and MIDI patterns and everything.
Nice.
Yeah, we spent a lot of time on the website and getting the sounds perfect and.
Dude, that's amazing.
Yeah, we had a good time doing it. And there's a lot more things that are coming to the website too. Like we're doing all kinds of tutorials and courses that these are the things in the pipeline that we're looking at now.
Dude.
Kind of courses.
Yes. Are you doing a course on top lining?
I may down the road. I'm thinking I definitely want to do like a vocal sample pack. With some top lines in there.
Nice.
I think that'd be beneficial.
Dude, oh my God, that's amazing. That's a great idea.
Yeah. So yeah, we're really excited about that. It's only just launched a couple of months ago, or the start of just before the end of the year, so a month ago.
So what's it like having these multiple businesses, like managing that and money, taxes? I don't even forming an LLC. I remember was a bit of a pain in the ass too.
Yeah, now I have two of them.
Mm-hmm.
Now I have two LLCs to take care of. But I think that's the for Radio Ready Mixing. That's the blessing that Vinny and I are finding is that one of us takes more control of the business side. It's essentially like a managerial role.
Nice.
And that is me, God help me. And then Vinny is more on the mixing and mastering side, the actual the practical side. But we both have our hands in both piles. But when things are needed to get done separately, we have those avenues to okay, you take care of that, I'll take care of this, and we'll meet in the middle. So that makes that kind of stuff a little bit easier.
Having a partner.
Yeah, I mean, because it's definitely hard to have I have Darren Fewins Music, which is my own LLC, and trying to manage it and promote it and all that stuff just by yourself is really intimidating and just not not inspiring to do. You want to get to work, you want to do the work, but you don't necessarily want to be on Instagram 24/7.
Is that for your music, or is that for everything that you do?
It's everything that I do, basically. It was an LLC that was just to do with my performing, my songwriting and session singing and all that stuff.
And where does because I know you're also an artist, so where does that fit into all of these different avenues?
Right. I mean, right now it doesn't.
Yeah.
I was doing some band gigs on the weekends before COVID hit. And I have some in the pipeline for later this year if they end up coming back. But if they don't, I won't be mad.
No, yeah, for sure.
I'm really loving doing what I'm doing. It's performing. It's just performing in the box.
Yeah. That is fascinating.
And the artistic side comes from arrangement, vocal arrangements, and stacking and harmonies, and constantly challenging yourself to do that kind of stuff.
Interesting. So yeah, that is interesting. Whatever you do for income, you are able to find that creative outlet and express yourself, and you're in all of these artistic ways. That's really a blessing. That's really awesome, dude.
I do feel blessed that's a part of my life. I can go to work and I still remain artistic, and not everybody has that.
Yeah, for sure.
It's yeah.
So what do you do to like stay in shape vocally for all this stuff?
The work itself kind of keeps you in shape.
Okay.
I definitely noticed that when I was off for like 2 weeks during COVID, that when I came back, like my strength, my vocal cords were shot after a session.
Yeah.
But I think it's important to warm up. I think it's important to do do vocal warm ups before you start a session, and there's such a thing as warming down as well after a session, and those kind of things help. And I guess that's how I stay in shape.
Do you have to be careful about like the food and drinks that you have in general, or you're kind of at a point where it doesn't matter?
No, I mean they do make a difference. They make a massive difference. I think I'm lucky enough to find that it doesn't affect me too much.
Mm-hmm.
But there's definitely certain foods and stuff that I stay away from if I know I have a session. Here's a little tip to the singers out there. So the biggest misconception is like drinking tea.
Yes. Go ahead. Yes.
So people there's nothing wrong with tea necessarily, right? But if you're doing a session and you feel like you're starting to get tired, a lot of people will go grab a warm tea and think it's going to keep their voice nice and warm, right? But the last thing you want to do on a tired voice that's starting to like swell, is pour hot boiling water on it.
Yeah.
So cold water, man. Cold water.
Oh, interesting. Cold water. Interesting.
Yeah. I mean, room temperature is fine too.
Uh-huh.
But it's like if you have an injury, and you start to swell, like you injure your ankle, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it starts to swell. You put an ice pack on there.
Yeah.
Right, like to compensate like for the swelling. So, it's
interesting. See, I expected you to say, and this is what I was thinking. I thought it was the caffeine in the tea that dehydrates you, and the whole point is to stay hydrated.
Right.
Interesting. I didn't think about the hot water thing.
Yeah, stay hydrated, but the hot water will just it'll dry you out, but it also like you're pouring hot like boiling water on.
That's fascinating.
Swollen cords.
That is so fast because it has such a soothing feeling. You think it's doing good.
Yeah, you do. And as I said, like there's nothing wrong with tea. If your voice is feeling fine, then your cords aren't really affected, right? So they're not swelling at that point. But I mean, I still wouldn't recommend pouring hot boiling water on the cords anyway.
Wow. That's cool. I actually had never thought about that before.
Yeah.
That's wild, dude.
Darren's tip
of the day. Oh, dude, that's so cool. So your life is basically writing melodies and lyrics. Mm-hmm. I mean, what does a revision even look like for you? Because for me as an audio engineer, a revision is like, oh, could you turn the kick drum up?
Yeah.
There's no emotional connection to that kick drum. Well, maybe there is.
Well, come on. Maybe not in metal. You're mixing country.
Exactly. What's it like if somebody says like what are the revisions you even get as a top liner?
Yeah, I mean they vary, right? But I think in most cases people are coming to you to write because they can't do it themselves. So in most cases, what you throw back at people, they're going to be pretty happy because they can't imagine of doing a better job themselves, right? And a lot of people just don't know how to. But I think there's context things, you know. I just got a revision from a client, like, you know, before I started talking to you, that was I used the word shit in the song, but it couldn't have shit. The release, he didn't want any swearing, so I mean that's a revision that I have to go back and do. And
fair.
The other revision was that he wanted some ooze at the end. I think a lot of the time, revisions for me involve me trying to get them to explain what they mean. I think, because like the example that you used about, like, I want that kick to be louder. Like you don't, it's like you never say, well, what do you mean by louder?
Yeah.
I mean, you might say how much louder, but people, I mean, this guy came back to me and he was like, I want some ooze at the end. And I mean, my first thought was like, I mean, what kind of ooze? Are you talking about like ad-lib ooze, or are you talking about like BV ooze? Like it could be either one of that. Then like, what's the end? Where's the end? Like, so I find myself like trying to figure out exactly what clients mean a lot of the time when I'm dealing with revisions.
Getting in their head,
because,
for sure.
Yeah, a lot of people know that, or definitely feel that something's missing, but they're not always sure what it is.
Right.
So you kind of have to, be diplomatic, obviously, when you're dealing with clients, and make sure that they remain happy and don't feel like they don't know what they're talking about at all, because in the end it is their song.
Yeah.
They have a certain picture in their head which may not be what I think it should be, and you get that with mixing too.
Definitely.
Right?
Definitely.
Like a lot of people will give you things to do that and they're not professional mixing engineers or mastering engineers, and you find yourself battling with yourself. It's like, I really don't recommend doing that. And at the same, like, you've got to weigh up some things. You've got to weigh up some things about, like, the end product is something that I have to say that I did.
Yeah.
And if I go too much to the will of someone that doesn't necessarily know what they're talking about, what does that say about my mixing or mastering?
Right.
Or my songwriting?
Right.
And that's a struggle, right?
That is definitely a struggle. Yeah.
Yeah.
But if I think what we might, or rather, I think as you get better and as you accrue your credits and as you get your portfolio up, there's a level of trust that the other person will tend to give you some. They'll give you some leeway, and like, unless they're super passionate that kick drum has to be that loud. I try to be very fair about it, but dude, I totally remember that. I think there was an example of a kick drum where Rohan wrote the song, and I mixed it, and like he heard the mix, or rather he heard the master when it was released, and he called me up and he's like, dude, why was the kick drum that loud on that? I'm like, I know, it's just what she wanted. I mean, we found a balance. I thought it was too loud. She thought it was too soft. And then we kind of met somewhere in the middle. I think once you accrue your credits and get your name to a trustworthy position, I think they'll give you some leeway at the end of the day. Yeah,
I think at least you have a voice of reason when you're talking to them at that point, right?
Right.
Like you can kind of say, well, I don't necessarily think that's the right route to go because of this, like the kick is now fighting with everything, and you don't want it to be the only thing that people hear.
Yeah, dude, this is like the best way to describe it is like an Amy Winehouse song. So it's like, you don't really need that much kick drum in that.
Wow. No, I was thinking you were like mastering like trap or
You can't get enough kick and trap.
yeah. Oh my God.
Yeah, dude, it's a fascinating field. Anything where there's an artistic element to it, it's always a fascinating. My biggest struggle was always like, trying to let go of my, like, I don't want to. How do you say this? If I start to impose too much of my ideas, it kind of starts to become my song, and that's not right. Just on so many levels, because in the end, it's not really my song, so it's not 100% mine, and then it's not really their song, so it's not theirs. So none of us got what we wanted.
Someone has to take the lead.
Yeah.
In the end, yeah. And you become that, you become guidance rather than, I mean, but yeah, that's okay sometimes. It's fine.
So that means when you do these top lines, you're in charge of everything all the way down to recording it, mixing, or editing it, mixing it, sending it as like a thing to them.
So yeah, sometimes it depends what they want. Sometimes they, sometimes they're producers, so they just want the dry vocals, and they mix themselves. Sometimes they're not. Sometimes they've bought a beat. Sometimes I don't really understand, like, what they do. So I've got people that have come to me that have bought a beat, hired me to write and sing, and then they release it. And it's like, what did they do?
Why? Okay. It's their thing. Okay.
You're the purchaser?
Yeah.
But I mean, maybe they make money of it. Like, it could be released for sync or stuff like that.
That's fair.
And maybe they're making more money than me. Who knows?
Yeah, I mean, dude, there's so I mean, nobody knew. I mean, I definitely didn't know about top lining for a long time. There's so many different ways to make money in this field, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
I think it's also important, the idea of diversifying. You mentioned now you're starting a business with Vinny, and it's going to be primarily online. Like, people, I assume, will send you stems, and you'll go take it from there, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And then the sample pack is a brilliant, because that's one of those things. That's like longevity thinking. Like, that stuff will be there, and you can just earn money from that. That's great.
I mean, that's the great thing about having like products online, that you can, hopefully, make money while you sleep.
Yeah.
And as with mixing and mastering, top lining, all that stuff, it's a service that, sure, you make money, but you've got to like physically be there and show up and do it and spend the time to make the money. So you can only do so much, but we're definitely hoping that the product will sell itself, and we'll be able to continue selling online. And we're definitely like keeping up with like a bunch of ideas where we're meeting every week, and what should we do this week? Like, what else can we do? And
that's fantastic, dude. Dude, it sounds like you kind of have like your dream position, like in terms of what you do. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, I think I would agree with that. I definitely don't want to be doing anything else. I don't. One stage I was driving Uber. I definitely don't want to be doing that. And I was working in an Australian restaurant when I came to the United States at first. Yeah.
In Manhattan?
Yeah, in Queens.
Oh shit! No way.
Yeah.
First of all, I didn't even know there was such a thing as an Australian restaurant.
Really?
I genuinely, this is like me being very genuine. I'm not even being sarcastic. Like,
Where are you living?
at Jersey City right now.
Dude, okay. There, I'm in Jersey City too, right?
No fucking way. Whereabouts?
Yeah. I don't know whether I should say it.
Oh, right. Okay, let's just say Jersey City, and you'll tell me later.
Yeah. I'll text you, but there's totally, there's totally an Australian restaurant right there, in Jersey City.
Well, I gotta check that out. I don't even know what to expect. I've never been to Australia, so maybe that's...
Dingo meat, crocodile meat.
Are you being serious? I can't even tell. Can't even tell. I would believe you. I'd be like, oh, really?
Kangaroo foot.
Wow.
Foot's the best, man.
Holy shit. I'm going to order Australian cuisine right now for dinner.
I'm trying to think of the name of it.
Australian restaurant? Maybe it's...
God.
Restaurant, Jersey City. Let's see what it is. Frankie? Something called Frankie. That's the first thing that came up. Frankie restaurant. That doesn't even sound Australian. What?
That could be it, though.
Oh, really? It says it's in Hoboken.
Oh, no. Okay, it's not Hoboken. It's definitely like Jersey City.
264 Grove Street.
I'm definitely going to find it.
Yeah, for sure.
I'll take you there. I'll take you there.
Yeah, kangaroo foot. All right. Jesus Christ. Wow.
No, you know what? It is Frankie.
No way. Oh, shit. Yeah, that's the only thing that shows up.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely not Hoboken, though.
Maybe...
It's Grove Street.
Oh, you're right. It does say 264 Grove Street. I don't know why somewhere it said Hoboken. But no, yeah. You're right. It's on Montgomery Street, and that's like literally Jersey City.
Well, let's have a look at the actual menu. Here we go.
Where is it? Let's see. Find a table. Menu.
Here we go. This will be the test.
Burgers, fish and chips.
Fish and chips is huge.
Really?
They actually have the lamb and harissa sausage rolls.
Oh, I see that. Right?
So that's something you're not going to find very often.
I don't even know what harissa sausage roll is.
I don't know what a harissa sausage roll is either. But I've had the steak and onion meat pie as well. We pretty much stole everything from Britain.
Because fish and chips is very, very UK.
Oh, yeah. Pavlova, do you know what that is?
No, I mean, I might have heard of it, but no.
So that's an Australian dessert. It's like meringue and it's really good.
Dude, you're making me hungry, dude.
Same, man. I haven't had dinner.
I've been trying to do intermittent fasting just to like.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's how I. Dude, I bought a weight scale the other day and I was like up to like 182. I'm like, what the fuck happened? And Shailene came. Oh my god! I don't know. I hope he doesn't mind, but. Shailene was like at 200 and we were both feeling so bad about ourselves. And so we started working out and like he visited me for like 2 weeks. We were like walking and working out and we were trying to eat one meal a day. And the intermittent fasting was the thing that kind of helped me. Although I think you reach some sort of plateau when you keep doing that.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm. So there's no getting around just exercise and proper eating.
Yeah.
You can't just eat what you want and not eat for another 23 hours. It just doesn't.
I have the opposite problem, man. I lose weight like so easily.
High metabolism. So you have a tough time putting on weight. Interesting.
Super, super tough. Yeah, I've got to be eating like three good meals a day with lots of snacks and going to the gym 5 days a week.
I'm so fucking jealous.
with protein shakes and to put on weight.
Dude,
Like,
that makes me so jealous.
it's I mean it's it's the same issue.
Right.
Like,
it's like
no one wants to
grass
be
is
like
greener.
too skinny, man. Like,
yeah, no, it's one of those things where like, you think the grass is greener, and like you're probably feeling as shitty as me when you like don't eat or like forget to eat or something. Yeah, I totally get it. That's hilarious.
Yeah, man.
Oh my god.
Yeah, but I mean, I fucking hate it when people come to me like that haven't seen me in a while, and they're like, "Did you lose weight? You're too skinny." and people think it's fine to say. Like, people think it's fine to say, but it's literally, to me, it's like coming to me and going, "Did you put on weight? You're so fat."
Yeah.
like I have to work my ass off to not get skinny.
Yeah.
So when people say that to me, it really pisses me off, man, because it's so much work for me to do that.
Dude, no, I can't imagine. That's what in India, that's what everybody says to you. It's like, oh, you gained weight. Like, fuck.
Yeah.
No, I guess everybody's got their struggles. It's, man.
Yeah.
Look at us fucking working in music and still complaining. Like, how dare we?
No one's watching this. No one. They've turned it off now because they've heard how good we have it. It's like, I don't need to hear how good people have it.
Oh, man.
No, we should be very lucky.
Yeah, man, especially considering everything that happened last year. I think, I only know a handful of people who, actually, the people I know, either everything went to shit or everything went up. Like, because of the online shit, right?
Right.
So.
Yeah. No one just battled through. I think there was like, you either lost or you changed things around, or you're already in.
Yeah, it was
It
was very black and white. At least from the people I talked to, it was very, very black and white. Like, even if it was as little as like, hey, I save money and time and effort on commuting, and I'm making the same money.
Right.
Like, that's still a win, So. Yeah, dude. I mean, it's very, very interesting to be in this kind of industry and to be sustained in this kind of industry. I thought, if any kind of pandemic or shit was to happen, I thought this was the first thing to go. Like, I was so sure that I was going to lose everything. But
really? How have you been? Good. Through the whole thing.
So, dude, it's so crazy when you talk about like how you joined soundbetter.com and, you didn't expect things to happen and it happened. Like, I try to tell people that there is a factor of luck that you really can't control, and like you can only do the best you can.
Yeah.
But to that, at the top of 2020, I actually started at this company called the Criterion Collection. So we do like movie restorations from like old film mags, and I do a lot of the audio mixing and restoration on that. Simultaneously, SAE Audio Institute, they were looking for an instructor, and so they hired me too. So I basically, Criterion during the day, teach at night at SAE, and then on Sundays I do engineering for this little radio station in Brooklyn called Heritage Radio Network that manages to work online okay, and then Saturdays I do fun stuff like this
Coke.
podcast. yes. The soft drink. Yes.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Pepsi, whatever you want.
Whatever you want to call it. We call it Coke, but Sprite, whatever. I do like this podcast. I produce bands that are not going to really pay me a lot of money. That was the biggest thing. Well, wait. Before I get to that, is so top of 2020, all these kind of offers came in at once, literally January, like fucking 2 full-time job offers, and I took it and it was great. And then when this pandemic hit, it was weird because things were going great still, and I was like,
that's amazing.
Yeah, I was very, very fortunate, and maybe I shouldn't say too much about how good things were last year, but they were great.
I mean,
dude.
in the same vein, like you put yourself to a level where you were asked to, for those jobs, like you put yourself in a level where you were good enough for SAE to ask you to do the job and everything. So, I mean, I think luck's involved sometimes, but you got to put yourself in position to be lucky, in positions to be lucky.
That is a great way to put it, because I think if those offers had come maybe a year prior, I might not have been ready.
Right.
Like, even a year, that's not a lot of time, but that is a good point. Like, both of the offers were like, I was not to like sound too cocky, but I was pretty sure that if I got the jobs, I would crush them both.
Yeah.
Like, I was already, like, you go back to the confidence side of it, and like the more you do it, the more you get at it, and like, and also, when you have enough leverage and, everything that we both did at Engine Room and all the sessions and setting up and the experience, all that stuff, when you have all that under your belt, it's very hard for anybody to deny that your shit. So, like you just tell them like, hey, I think I should get the most money because I know my shit. Like,
right. Yeah.
That was
exactly.
Yeah, that was a big. So yeah, 2020 was really good. Very, very fortunate for me, and like, yeah.
That's great, dude.
Grateful.
Good for you.
Great. I do miss Rohan. I miss him. I miss I miss Shailene a lot because he was just here and he left again.
Yeah. We spoke to Rohan on New Year's. New Year's,
nice.
we broke the rules and we had Vinny and Kirsten
Nice.
over to our place.
Nice.
And we had like a dress up dinner party.
Oh my god, that's awesome.
Yeah, we got like the girls were in dresses, we were in suits, and it was just us, and we just got pissed and
man.
That was fun, but we called Rohan after New Year's, and I think he'd just woken up. He was hungover,
dude.
Because
he called me as it hit midnight over there, so he was like mid party mode when he called me.
Which was like morning here, right?
Yeah, it
something
was.
Like
I had a session, and he called me. Like my clients were here. My clients know him, obviously, but like. Yeah, he called me, and like I could tell in like 5 seconds, this dude is so like happy right now. He's a good dude. Yeah,
that's hilarious. Yeah. I miss having him around, and Shailene too.
Yeah. So
is he still up in Boston? Is that? Oh no.
No.
Where was he?
He's in Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Tulsa, yes.
Yeah,
yes.
He was here for. He had a Christmas break, but he was here for about 2 weeks, I want to say. And dude, we did nothing. Like we felt bad because we had put on weight, but we did nothing. We just chilled, and it was good to just have him around to chill. I thought, me being me and him being him, I thought we'd do so much video work and photo this and like take advantage of the opportunity, but we just chill like we were. Like we were just hanging out like buddies again. That was really good. It's really good to
Good
do
for
that.
you, man.
Yeah.
I haven't taken a break in so long. I mean, other than like being sick like 2 weeks ago. I haven't taken a break. It's just been.
Dude, you need to.
Yeah, I know. It's just constant, man. And I think there's always been challenges and changes and everything, not just with me, but with my wife and everything and her job. And pandemic hits, and then you're just trying to make it through and everything. But, I'm so jealous that you had that Christmas.
Yeah.
Usually we go to Australia too.
Oh, right.
Usually we're forced to take a break because we go to Australia. But, no joke, tickets were $30,000. A plane trip to Australia was $30,000.
Are you kidding?
No. On top of that, like you had to quarantine for
2 weeks.
2 weeks. You had to pay for the hotel, which was another $3,000.
Oh my God.
And like, so, and you know, we can only go away for 3 weeks.
Yeah.
You know, like we can't be away for that long.
So they were really not encouraging it.
Yeah. Yeah. But I mean, Australia's doing so well with COVID,
Yeah.
man. Like there's like, what, 9 cases in Australia or something.
Right.
And, you know, I called my parents for Christmas, and the whole family of like, you know, 15, 20 people with the kids or something like that now. But they're all there partying, and
That's nice.
you know, no masks or anything.
Yeah.
And you look through the video and you're like, oh my God, guys, you got to be careful. You got to be careful. And it's like, no, we don't have it. We did the right things in our country, and
That's
government
awesome.
took care of us while we stayed home. And
that's good to hear.
yeah, I mean, it's, you know, having that relationship with that country, it really shows that, you know, there was a better way to do things than what we did here.
But dude, why didn't you like just take a break anyway? Because you definitely need to. It's like every now and then.
I think financially, we couldn't really stop at that point.
Yeah. Were you?
We had some things come up.
But was it related to the pandemic situation?
Yeah, partly. Yeah. Also, my wife is like, she has her own business as a massage therapist, but she's also like studying almost full time.
Oh, right.
So, you know, she's trying to cut back work as much as possible, and I'm trying to take the reins of as much work as possible so that she can be allowed to find the time to study. So
Yeah.
it's kind of a constant thing. It's just busy right now. We'll get the break when we can.
That makes
but
sense.
for right now, it's tough.
Yeah, that's a good point. Like, sometimes you just gotta push through until
Yeah, until it's time. But
it's time.
that break is going to be
Sweet.
so amazing. We've racked up so many points now on our frequent flyer miles. So I don't know. We might do a couple of round the world trips.
Dude, no, you totally should. I mean, once these things settle down, I think everybody deserves a little break, to be honest.
Yeah.
So, cool, dude. But, like, yeah, look, that's pretty much all I had to ask. I don't want to take too much of your time, but I really appreciate you sharing all that stuff. That's some good
man. It was.
Where can people find you if they want to reach out?
The best place is soundbetter.com if they want top lining or vocal sessions or mixing and mastering sample packs. They can come to radioreadymixing.com.
Nice. And Sound Better, just type in your name and it'll show up?
Yeah. Nice. Yeah, I think if you Google Darren Fewins, probably my Sound Better page will come up.
You might be right. I've never tried it. Let's try it.
You never Googled?
I've never Googled you. No. Oh, you're the first one to come up. Either that or Google is listening right now. So.
Is it Sound Better or what
no?
is it?
The first one is your website, and the second one is your Sound Better.
Cool.
So that's still pretty good.
Yeah. And even, I mean, if you get on Sound Better and you search male singers, I think I'm actually the first one on the list, or maybe the second one.
Find a pro. Male singers. Oh, dude, you're the second one. Fuck yeah.
Second.
That's fucking dope. Now, how do we get rid of this first guy?
How do we knock him off his pedestal?
That's awesome, dude. Holy shit.
Yeah, I mean, I think it varies. They give, they definitely vary it, but I think it's kind of based on like how well you're doing, but also how much stuff is coming in. And I try to knock things out. Like I have eight projects in front of me for that's meant to be for like this week and next week.
Nice.
So. I'm feeling the pressure right now. I'm going back to a session when I get off the call to you too. So,
dude, no, for sure. Look, I mean, I think you're
good.
I think you're doing like awesome, and it feels weird because we haven't actually caught up outside of like anything else. So, or without Rohan involved in some capacity. Dude, the same thing happened with Vinny. Like I had him on the podcast last week, and And at the end of it, we were just like, I don't think we've ever talked like this without Rohan involved or somebody else involved. So, no, that was really good. And look, I wish you luck with everything.
Same to you, man. Same to you. I'm so glad that things have, peaked or not necessarily peaked, but they've jumped up, and that's great.
No, yeah, definitely. Definitely grateful for that. Did not expect that to happen.
That's awesome, man.
But if there's any way I can help, if there's any projects I can send your way, I definitely will. Definitely.
Yeah, I'm around. I'm around.
Cool, dude. All right.